to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hello and welcome to episode 54. I am Mosh. Alright, let's just get into video games. So first up, we have Activision, Infinity Ward, and Modern Warfare. Activision and Infinity Ward have announced that they will be supporting the relief effort in Australia by donating 100% of Activision's proceeds of the in-game Outback Relief Pack to Australia. The Outback Relief Pack is available in Call of Duty Modern Warfare store and features Australia-themed content in-game. This offer runs until January 31st and is available on all platforms. If you already purchased the pack before they renamed it, the profits will still be donated towards relief efforts in Australia. And then their very own statement: as part of our efforts to help provide relief toward the devastating bushfires in Australia, we're donating 100% of Activision's net proceeds from each purchase of the Outback Pack, which we've renamed the Outback Relief Pack, across all platforms through January 31st. If you've already purchased the Outback Pack, thank you. Your purchase will count toward the donation. From everyone at Infinity Ward, Call of Duty, and Activision, thank you for your consideration. Our hearts go out to all those who have been affected. So yeah, if you would like to help out a little bit with the Australia fires, you can purchase this pack in the in-game store with Call of Duty points. So that's nice of them. I also heard recently that koalas might be considered an endangered species now, and that's not very cool. What's next? Just real quick, Bluepoint, they sent out a tweet, another little teaser tweet, and they deleted it. It was the other day, I forget which day it was, but it was an image. It was a black background with white text that just said title, and then in the bottom right it said fast loading with a symbol next to it. Now, I did not recognize this symbol, and I was reading through the replies, and no one seemed to be mentioning any game in particular. Like, no one was like, oh, it's this game or anything. It was just the usual Legend of Dragoon replies, Demon Souls replies, all that. So I don't know what that was, but they deleted it maybe an hour or so after they posted it. It's just weird because, again, this company does not tweet very often, and when they do, their tweets seem very calculated. So for them to do this and then just immediately delete it, I don't know. I've also heard that they are ready to show what they are working on. It is not them holding back, it's PlayStation, because it's PS5 related, so that's what they're waiting for. But yeah, don't get mad at Bluepoint. It's not on them, it's on Sony. They're the ones holding it back. But it will be revealed soon, because now people are saying the PS5 reveals next month, which I don't know. Again, it's just rumors and speculation. Mostly because the PS4 was revealed in February, so everyone's just kind of assuming it's going to be the same for the PS5, and it very could well be, but we'll find out soon. And we now have confirmation that Sony will be skipping this year's E3 2020 conference, just like they did last year. Last year was the first time they ever skipped it, and now they're doing it back-to-back years. So all the people that said the PS5 was going to be revealed at E3 this year, it's not. I think E3 is also losing some steam, especially what happened last year. A ton of addresses and phone numbers from attendees, like the journalists, got leaked. So, it's kind of a big deal. Just people's personal information out there in the world. It's not a good look. And then Microsoft kind of does their own, like, they're still part of E3 kind of, but they do it in a different venue. They're kind of off doing their own thing while still kind of there. And it's just, I don't know, it's going downhill a little bit. Which is kind of sad because E3 was always something to look forward to. All these huge announcements and reveals, and it's exciting. Especially the press conferences. I love watching the press conferences. But it seems like it's just slowly fading away. So, no PS5 reveal at E3 this year because it's probably happening before. And right after the announcement of Sony not showing up to E3 this year, Microsoft made the announcement, or I guess Phil Spencer made the announcement on his Twitter that they will be attending E3 this year. So, Sony's out again, Microsoft is in. It was just announced by Square Enix that Final Fantasy VII Remake and the new Avengers games have both been delayed. Final Fantasy VII Remake has been delayed from March 3rd to April 10th, and the new Avengers game has been delayed from May to September. Here's what Square Enix had to say about Final Fantasy VII Remake. We know that so many of you are looking forward to the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake and have been waiting patiently to experience what we have been working on in order to ensure we deliver a game that is in line with our vision and the quality that our fans who have been waiting for deserve. we have decided to move the release date to April 10th, 2020. We are making this tough decision in order to give ourselves a few extra weeks to apply final polish to the game and to deliver you with the best possible experience. I, on behalf of the whole team, want to apologize to everyone, as I know this means waiting for the game just a little bit longer. Thank you for your patience and continued support. Yoshinori Kitase, producer of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And Crystal Dynamics had this to say about Avengers. At Crystal Dynamics, our ambition has always been to deliver the ultimate Avengers gaming experience. In order to achieve that goal, we have made the difficult decision to move the release date of Marvel's Avengers to September 4th, 2020. As fans ourselves, it's an honor and a privilege to work with these legendary characters, and we know what these superheroes mean to us and true believers around the world. When we set out to bring you our vision for Marvel's Avengers, we committed to delivering an original story-driven campaign, engaging co-op, and compelling content for years to come. To that end, we will spend this additional development time focusing on fine-tuning and polishing the game to the high standards our fans expect and deserve. The worldwide teams working on Marvel's Avengers sincerely appreciate the support you've shown us. We thrive on your enthusiasm and feedback, and we can't wait to show you more. We apologize for the delay. We're confident it will be worth the wait. Scott Amos and Ron Rosenberg, co-heads of studio at Crystal Dynamics. I mean, what can you really do about it? If they're just adding final touches to the games and making them a little bit better, you can't really be mad at that. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, the Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't that big of a deal. It's just a 1 month delay. I mean, delays shouldn't really even be a surprise anymore, but hey. Again, if it makes the game better, then it's really not that big of a deal. Next up, we have Pokemon. So they did a Pokemon Direct. Nintendo did. Well, who else would it be? And they revealed some things. So they announced a new expansion pass for Pokemon Sword and Shield. A surprise announcement of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. It's a port of the Nintendo DS games, and it's coming out on Switch on March 6th. And an eShop demo is available right now. And then next month will be the Pokemon Home app release, which will act as a hub for your Pokemon across multiple games, and it will let you transfer creatures out of Pokemon Go into Sword and Shield for the first time. But it's one way, so it goes from Pokemon Go into Sword and Shield, but not Sword and Shield into Go. I'm guessing that's what that means. Alright, so a little bit more about the expansion pass. It is $30 and it comes with 2 DLCs in it. The Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. These DLCs include new areas and new Pokemon, and they will come out over the course of this year. So Isle of Armor comes out before the end of June, and Crown Tundra comes out in the fall. Each expansion will add a new open area to explore, and an additional 200 new and returning creatures will be added. You will be able to trade these additional species to other Sword and Shield owners, whether they have the expansion pass or not. Just as in the main games, content in the expansion pass will also vary between the versions. And for those with both Sword and Shield, it's worth noting you'll need an expansion pass for each version of the game you own. So that's kind of stupid. I feel like it should be tied to your Nintendo account, right? Like if you have an online Nintendo account, you just buy it once and you can access it on both games. Like, why is that not a thing? So Isle of Armor. Isle of Armor is a sunny destination with a training dojo. You'll meet Cubfu, a fighting-type legendary Pokemon which evolves into Urshifu, another legendary Pokemon with 2 different forms. Each of these will then also Gigantamax into a form respective to each. Other Pokemon capable of Gigantamaxing will include Sword and Shield's 3 starter Pokemon's final evolutions, as well as Venusaur and Blastoise. Charizard's already there because you already know who the big boss man is. Galarian Slowpoke will also be added, and it can evolve into either Galarian Slowbro or Slowking, depending on which game you have. The Crown Tundra is a snowy area with new co-op play. It'll feature Pokemon dens where you'll be able to capture new and past legendary Pokemon from throughout the series. One of the new legendary Pokemon is Calyrex, a psychic and grass type. Whether you buy the expansion pass or not, you'll be able to add the new Galarian Slowpoke to your team by visiting Wedgehurst Station from later today. So it's available now. You'll also meet a character who will give you a little slice of the expansion pass's story. Now, people are mad about this new DLC. And they're mad because it's bringing in content that people feel like should have been in the initial release of the game. So before the game came out, people were already mad because not all the Pokemon were in it. And with this expansion, they are bringing some back. So people are like, oh, well, these Pokemon should have been in the game to begin with. You took them out, and now you're charging us to put them back in the game. They're mad that you have to pay for extra content, which is what DLC is. Now, the thing I'm going to say is, welcome to the real world, Pokemon fans. Welcome to reality. It's nice to have you. What do you think the rest of us have been doing with DLC and microtransactions these last few years? Paying for content that should have been in the game on release day. It's like in Call of Duty when they bring back maps or weapons and you gotta pay for them. Like in Call of Duty 4, you had a couple of maps that came with the game, and then when Modern Warfare 2 came out, they slapped a couple of those maps in the DLC. So if you wanted them back, you gotta pay for it. What about when Destiny came out and the first couple expansions were on the disc of the game? They were in the game. And then Bungie and Activision were like, hand over the cash. We're going to sell that as an expansion. So, hello, how you doing, Pokemon fans? Welcome to 2020. We've been here a while. Welcome to the party. There's fruit punch over there. Bathroom's down the hall and to the left. Make yourself comfy. And some people are saying, oh, well, forget this DLC expansion stuff. We'd rather just have a new game. Why? You'd rather pay for a whole new game to get this content instead of $30 for 2 DLCs? Doesn't make any sense. This is how modern games are. Does it suck for them to resell you stuff that should have been in the game to begin with? Absolutely. I'm not defending it. But it's been like this for a long time. People complain about $30 for 2 expansion passes. Have you played Destiny? Like, if you want to keep up to date and have all the new cool stuff in that game, you have to pay so much more. Let's just think back to a simpler time of Pokemon. Just back to the good old days. Actually, you know what? I have my Game Boy and my old Pokemon. I'm going to boot them up right now. And I will see what my old Pokemon parties were. I'm doing it. We'll start off with Red. Red, I reset a few times. My original Red party was stacked. Had like level 100 Charizard, Dragonite, Mewtwo, Articuno, Jolteon, Gyarados, Gengar, which I believe you had to trade to get a Gengar, which I did, traded with some random kid. But then I ended up resetting that save because I wanted to see what it was like to play through with a Squirtle and play through with a Bulbasaur, which sucked. And then I think I restarted again, so I have no idea what my Pokemon Red party even is right now, but I know I did reset it. The other games I don't think I reset. Those should be my actual original parties. And Pokemon Red's a top 5 game. Personally, it's in my top 5 games of all time. Oh my god. Hold on. Let's turn that down. I don't know if I'm going to get copyright for that. Let's turn that down. I know it's video game music, but Nintendo, they're crazy when it comes to this stuff. YouTube stuff, I ain't risking it. Actually, what would be my top 5 games of all time? I would say this is not in order. I would actually have to sit down and think about what the order is, but I would say Last of Us, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resistance Fall of Man, Final Fantasy 7, and Pokemon Red. Actually, I can throw a 6th one in there. It's my list. I'll do what I want. I'm gonna put a tie. It'll be Resistance Fall of Man / Halo 2. Because both those games scratched the same itch for me. One was on Xbox, the other was on PlayStation. So they're kind of the same, they're kind of equal to me. So those are my top 5-ish games. Again, I don't know what the order is. Alright, so let's see what my Pokemon Red party is. Okay, it says I have all 8 badges. Apparently my player name was Andy, which no one ever calls me Andy, so I don't know why that was my nickname in here. Oh, this is gross. Yeah, this is definitely a new one. Vileplume, Seadra, Moltres, Charizard, Dratini, and Hitmonchan. As you can see, I started back with Charizard again. I have to. I always pick the fire Pokemon. You gotta pick the fire Pokemon. At least if you're me, you do. Because fire, Phoenix, Arizona, that's where I live. It's the connection. So as you see, I have a Moltres, which is a Phoenix. If you've ever noticed the yellow, orange, red gradient that I use, it's because it's similar to fire, like a Phoenix, where I live, in Arizona. See, I make nods to my home and people don't even notice. It's everywhere. My favorite color is red. Why do you think I use so much red everywhere? YouTube banner's red. The little audio circle on the podcast thing I have is red. And that was after everybody else chose. When we did episode 1 and there was 5 of us, I asked everyone, I said, what color do you want for your thing? And no one said red because they already knew. That's what I was going to choose. They respect it. They know. Alright, let's check out Pokemon Yellow. What do we got here? It was interesting. I only have 5 in my party. Aerodactyl, Hitmonlee, Golduck, Nidoking, and Nidoqueen. Golduck being my highest level at 62? What? Hold on, let's see what's in the PC, because this doesn't make any sense. Where's like my Pikachu? You know, I had to do Pikachu. I'm not going to evolve him into Raichu. I had to stay as close to the show as possible. Forget Raichu. Looking through the PC, I apparently had a Pokemon named, Kaka. You don't name your Pokemon Kaka? I was a kid, alright? I don't know. Pikachu is level 21. Apparently I have another one named Ricky. Rhydon level 63. Okay, apparently went hard with Rhydon. Who is Ricky? Oh, I gotta see who Ricky is. Ricky is a Machamp. Okay. I have to see who Kaka is, because this is weird. I must have reset this game too, because it just doesn't make any sense. Alright, let's see what Kaka is. I gotta stop saying that. I'm gonna get demonetized. Ah. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a Magikarp. Childhood me with the jokes, calling a terrible Pokemon Kaka. Whoa. I just started up Pokemon Silver and there's no continue. It just says new game or option. What? What happened to my Silver save? Part of my childhood just died. I'm really sad right now. Well, you know what that means? I gotta play through Silver again. If only I could stream this. I need to figure out how to stream this. Oh my god, I just put in Crystal and it's the same thing. New game or option. There's no way. Where did my saves go? I'm sad. It also looks as if Sapphire is missing, so I don't know where that is. But yeah, those are all the Game Boy Pokemon games I had. Red, Yellow, Silver, Crystal, Sapphire. I was a fiend. I was a Pokemon fiend when I was a kid. Huge fan. And then I grew out of it. I have an idea as to where Sapphire is, but I'm not going to look for it right now. But yeah, I'm going to look into seeing if I can stream some of these games, because I think there's a cable you can buy that allows you to stream Game Boy stuff. I don't know. I'll look into it, like I said. That was kind of disappointing, though. I was expecting more. But it was about remembering the good times of Pokemon. That was the point. Alright, I think that's it for gaming. There wasn't a whole lot to this year. Or not this year. This week. Well, I guess this year. We're still early on. On to music. We had some pretty sad news the other day. It was revealed that the drummer and lyricist of Rush, Neil Peart, had passed away. He died of glioblastoma, which is basically brain cancer. He was 67 years old. He was born in Hamilton, Ontario. He joined Rush in 1974. They released 19 studio albums, and 10 of them exceeded over 1 million copies sold, at least in the US. Billboard ranked them 3rd for the most consecutive gold or platinum albums by a rock band. I mean, Rush is huge. Very popular band. If you don't know who Rush is, I don't know what to tell you. But this is just a huge blow to not just rock music, but all of music. He was one of the best drummers ever. Again, not just in rock, but ever. Like, so many people are inspired by him. He was the youngest person to be inducted into the Modern Drummer Readers Poll Hall of Fame in 1983, which would have made him 31 or 30, depending on what time of the year that took place. I'm not entirely sure. But still, getting inducted into a Hall of Fame at 30 or 31, like, come on. That should tell you a lot right there. He did go through some other tragedies in his life. In 1997, his daughter was killed in a car accident. She was 19. And then 10 months after that, his wife of 23 years died of cancer. And then now he died of cancer. It sounds like they kept it a secret. I guess he's been battling it for over 3 years. And when he died, a lot of people came out and they're like, we had no idea he was even going through this. So it's definitely a shock to a lot of people. And I don't blame them for keeping it a secret. Like, that's gotta be incredibly hard to go through. And I feel like having that information out in the public would make it almost harder, because people would probably constantly ask you about it. I don't know. But yeah, it's a big loss. Huge loss. The dude's a legend, like in every sense of the word. It's just weird, because when the new year started, I was actually thinking about the death thing, because every year they have the deaths come in threes thing that goes around. And I was just thinking, like, who's it going to be this year? And then we start off the year with this. I'm still keeping my eye on Ozzy, though. That dude's going on tour again. Actually, let's just move on to Ozzy. So Ozzy released a new song the other day called Ordinary Man. It is a title track from his new album, Ordinary Man, releasing on February 21st, and it is a collaboration with Elton John. You're probably thinking, Ozzy and Elton John together, that's kind of weird. It is kind of weird, but it works, and it works really well. Ozzy does most of the song, Elton sings a little bit, but he plays piano, and it's a really good song. I'll put a link to it in the description. But I was going through some information about his new album, and they're doing like a giveaway. I think one of the prizes was you can win tickets to Ozzy shows for life. I'm just sitting there thinking, how many more shows does he have left, though? Like, it sounds like a cool prize, but if you really think about it, how much is left? Because the tour he's going on this summer was supposed to happen last summer, and it got postponed a whole year because of health issues. And he's not getting any younger. He's actually a year older, because that's how math works. If you wait a year, you get a year older. Like I've been saying, I don't have a good feeling about Ozzy. Between the health issues, going on tour again, the name of the album, the guy's gonna die on stage. But he's been doing this for 5 decades. First Black Sabbath album was what did I say last week? February 13th? This is February 21st? 50 years after. I think he needs to retire. I think he just needs to hang it up and just live out the rest of his life. But moving on, The Word Alive released a new song from their new album called Monomania, and the song is called Monomania. Another title track. It's good. It sounds like them. Nothing crazy, nothing too different. It's pretty much what I expected. And that album comes out on February 21st. During last week's podcast, I said Polaris should be releasing a new song pretty soon. And a couple hours after that podcast went live, they released a new song. And it's called Hypermania. So Polaris has Hypermania. The Word Alive has Monomania. There's just a lot of mania. It is also a good song, and their new album, The Death of Me, comes out on February 21st. So Ozzy's new album, The Word Alive's new album, and Polaris' new album, all dropping on the same day. That's a big one. That reminds me of October 25th from last year when we had Ginger's new album, Fit for an Autopsy, Saint Asonia, the deluxe version of Ice Nine Kills, and was that it? Or was there something else? I don't remember exactly, but that was also a big day. So we're kicking off the year big time. I've already started my best of 2020 playlist, and it's already shaping up nicely. Already got 13 songs sitting in there. So that's something to look forward to in February. And Loathe also released a new song. Their album comes out February 7th. Yes. It's called Two-Way Mirror. Or the song is called Two-Way Mirror. The album is called I Let It In and It Took Everything. So that's a couple weeks away. But the song Two-Way Mirror is really good. It's all singing. There's no screaming on it. It's just a nice sounding song. I enjoy it. I'll put a link to all the songs I just mentioned in the description. Slipknot is starting to tease something. They released a video that just says soon. And they, on their Instagram, they're releasing videos, which links to other accounts that has videos. And the captions are just like, they look like song titles, but they're weird if they are song titles. So no one knows what's happening. Maybe it's a secret album that I mentioned last week. Maybe not. A lot of people think it's because they're starting their European tour. I think this is a lot of teasing for a European tour. Everyone knows it starts soon anyway. And they don't do teasers like this for other tours, so it just doesn't make sense to me. The one thing is in that video, it kind of had the same colors as the Nero Forte video. In that video, there's a person in like a sack like a cocoon thing. It almost looks like they broke free. So maybe it's a tease for a music video for Orphan. It's either Orphan video, the secret album, or a deluxe version of We Are Not Your Kind. Those are my 3 guesses. I mean, if I had to narrow it down to just one thing, I would say it's a deluxe edition of We Are Not Your Kind. And I say that because you can hear the drums of Nero Forte, and in one of the videos you see the girl who is on the album art, and she has the veil or whatever that is on her head. So it's more than likely what it is, which is fine because that means new music. And then the reason why I think it could be a music video for Orphan is because if that thing from the Nero Forte video does hatch or come out of its cocoon or whatever that thing is, it's an orphan. Like, it's by itself. So I think that's why it could be a video for that. And they said they want to make a video for that song anyway. And maybe this is multiple teases. They could be teasing multiple things at once. But it says soon, and hopefully they mean soon. Because when it came to the Nero Forte video, they're like, oh yeah, it's coming soon. And it took like a month and a half or something to come out. So hopefully soon means soon. Anyway, let's move on to the weekly pick of the week. So my pick this week, I don't know if I've recommended it before. I might have. So if I have, oops. If I haven't, cool. But it's a video of the backstory of Rob Weedoff, who is the voice of John Marston in Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. And it just kind of shows him almost like a day in the life of him, how he got the role of John Marston, and just how much it means to him. It talks about his family, how much they mean to him. It's nice to see someone who's humble, unlike some others. And this video came out before Red Dead Redemption 2, so that game's not mentioned at all. But in the video, he says that he missed working with Rockstar. But little did he know, he'd be coming back. It was in 2013, though, this video, and a lot of the actors on Red Dead 2 said that it took them 5 years to make the game, and it came out in 2018, so during the filming of that video, he might have known that Red Dead 2 was a thing, but he also might not have. He's a good dude. Okay, moving on to the weird story of the week. This was actually reported by a local news station, but the story takes place in none other than Florida. I'm back, Florida. Florida police are warning residents to be on the lookout for a creepy criminal who allegedly broke into a man's home to suck on his toes. A criminal who allegedly broke into a man's home to suck on his toes on Christmas Eve. According to the Bradenton Herald, a 20-year-old victim was awakened by a man sucking on his toes around 3:30 a.m. The victim was sleeping in his bedroom when the suspect somehow entered the locked Bradenton home. When the victim asked the man what he was doing, the stranger replied that he was there to suck toes. The victim, who was home alone, then began throwing punches at the intruder, forcing him out of the house and into the yard. Manatee County deputies say while being forced out the home, the suspect tried to fondle the victim's genitals. The suspect fled the area after being punched by the victim, but not before he punched out a window to the victim's home and the victim's car windshield. Deputies tried to find the suspect but were unsuccessful. According to the report, if found, the man will be charged with burglary and felony criminal mischief. Can you imagine just sleeping, having a great time, and you wake up to some dude just sucking on your toes? Ugh. Dude, I don't want anyone near I don't care who you are. Don't suck my toes. Don't lick my feet. The whole foot thing is really weird to me. I don't care if you're the hottest woman in the world. Keep your mouth away from my feet. But then to have some random dude sucking on them? Oh my god. And the guy responds, "What are you doing?" Why is that your first response? You wake up and it's probably dark, so I don't know how much eye contact you're making, but I would assume you're staring at them. You're staring at each other. And all you do is say, "What are you doing?" Like, how do you not just jump up and start beating them? Well, that's a poor choice of words. He was probably beating himself, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going any further. So thank you for listening. As always, you can listen on iTunes and Apple and Spotify and Stitcher and TuneIn. Links in the description to all of that stuff. And I will talk to you guys next week. Keep your toes protected. And I'm out of here. Later.